DorkLair.
Welcome to another DorkLair action figure review. Today I'm taking a look at the Mezco 112 Collective White Skull Agent. This guy is apparently a predecessor to Gomez as Mezco continues to kind of build out that universe and that story. He was a predecessor, but he has somehow returned from the void, and it's unknown whether he is friend or foe. But this is pretty much a simple variant, mostly of the stealth Gomez, with a few familiar parts thrown in there. I know it was an incredibly limited release, and it was a secret drop, so a lot of people missed out on it. But in my opinion, if there's going to be one to miss out on, this is probably the one, because you're not getting a lot new here. It's not groundbreaking. If, like, say, the Hazard Squad Gomez, if that had been a 500 count secret drop, that would have been disappointing, I think. But if you already have Stealth Ops, you have a lot of this figure already, especially the body, because it's just got the repainted belt. Everything else is pretty much the same. But, of course, you've got the white skull, and you got the whole kind of like package here, which is very nice, and it's a great figure. I'm not knocking the figure itself. But yeah, my advice is if you missed it, don't sweat this one too much. Again, we got skulls, we got Gomez bodies, we got trench coats. A lot of this stuff, you could kit bash your own pretty easily anyway. So, yeah. But overall, the figure is great. It's a Gomez figure. The articulation's awesome. Nice details, cool accessories, just a lot of fun, as are pretty much all those Gomez figures. So here we go. Let's get into this review. As usual lately, this one comes in the same kind of sort of black shoebox that they're just reusing. For packaging, it comes in this now familiar shoebox style, black shoebox type Converse looking box here. But it's got this nice skull on it. I do prefer the other packaging, this with like the artwork and whatnot. And then you have on the bottom if you want to take a look at that. And that's it. Pretty basic, simple thing. And getting a quick look at the figure from all sides. Here's the front, left side, back, right side, and back to the front. And I think each strikes a cool profile. I like the contrast of the white and the black. Some people have talked about maybe it should have come with a white trench coat. That would have been kind of neat. But I don't know. I like the beige trench coat to sort of like transition between the white and the black a little bit. And the profile is basically the Stealth Ops Gomez, so it's a fairly familiar body that we're looking at here. And zooming in on the head sculpt a little bit, it's kind of cool. It's got like a matte finish on the white part of the head and then a shiny finish on the black, like in the eyes. This is the same skull as you get in the bag of skulls. This is the same skull mold as, that comes with the usual Gomez figures. And then kind of looking at the trench coat here, which is an accessory, so we don't have to really go over that too much later. But the trench coat is not wired except for the belt on the trench coat is wired. So you can kind of use that. If you want to like pose the coat out, you can use that to prop it up. So that's nice. But I looked at the Jim Gordon trench coat, and it is fairly similar. I'm not sure I saw a lot of differences there, but I don't really have it handy right now to do a side-by-side. So buttons on there, nice clean stitching. It's a nice trench coat. It's actually a pretty good piece, and it's great for, this is just an awesome figure for kit bashing it, which is pretty much what I love about Gomez. So let me take this jacket off, and then we'll look more at the figure. Okay, so I got the jacket off and take a look at the harness here. Nice leather details sculpted in there. It is a very stark white, but there are some details, like, for example, you have these little painted rivets over here that are silver. And all that leather, and you can see the stitching and stuff, very nicely detailed. I don't think this has been used before, this sculpt, so I'm sure we'll see this again. It may come with the black skulls, if they ever release those. I can't remember if the black skulls have it. Somebody let me know in the comments if the black skulls have this same harness, but it's a nice accessory. It's a nice piece. Not going to have a lot of functionality kit bashing off of this figure because of the stark white, I think. I don't know. It might be hard to find the right figure for that to match up with, but it looks really good on this guy. It's got the same kind of like sweatery stuff going on as, and the same pants as the Stealth Ops Gomez. And if you pop the head off, you'll see the neck is a little bit shinier. And I'll do a comparison in a minute. So we got the belt, we got the pants with these pockets here. There's no functionality in those cargo pants pockets, and then down into the boots. And then he's got magnets on the bottom of the boots, like most Gomez figures for the hoverboard, even though he doesn't come with a hoverboard, but yeah. So pretty cool base body. And again, to me, this is almost like an extension of the Stealth Ops Gomez, and it adds a lot of kit bash possibilities, but not like, in my opinion, a core need if anybody is like a Gomez collector. Like, it's pretty simple. It's a pretty straightforward figure, and it's mostly just a variant. Okay, and with the harness removed, I have the Stealth Ops next to it, and as you can see, it's mostly the same stuff. It's all the same pants and shirt and whatnot. There might be some minor differences. You can see like the cuffs on the arms are a little bit different, but for the most part, it's the exact same figure. The neck is a little different. Let me pop the heads off. The neck is a little bit different. It's a shinier black, and I'm assuming maybe some more of the body might be shinier black than the matte black. I think the shiny black on the White Skull Agent matches up with the eyes. Okay, let's see how the White Skull Agent looks next to a couple other figures. Starting off with a couple of his Gomez counterparts. On the left, Lone Roach. On the right, Stealth. We have the Roach with the golden head on the left with a head swap, and the Crimson Dragon on the right with a head swap. Next, we have the Amazing Yamaguchi Batman on the left, and the Mezco 2019 Hellboy on the right. Finally, a couple of Hasbro figures. Marvel Legends Captain America on the left, and Black Series Cad Bane on the right. Okay, moving on to accessories. He does come with the stand as usual. This one's got the skull on there, so pretty cool looking stand. I think the stand is very similar to the Gold Skull stand, just a different color, of course. Got the flight arm to go with it, and then we'll get into the hands. For hands, he comes with a smaller array of hands than the usual Gomez kit, but yeah, he's got most of the same ones. He's got the gripping, he's got the regular pair of trigger finger hands, he's got the sort of wider trigger finger hand, and then the barrel cradling hand to go with it. He's got gesturing hands, so this one is definitely a gesture, and then this one was originally for those big canister grenades, but for this particular figure, I don't think the grenades he has fits in there, so it's more of like a gesture. And then two more gesturing hands. He's got pointing finger and then pointing two finger, opposing hands. He does not come with the middle finger that Gomez usually has. Of course, I've already mentioned it, but again, this is an accessory, so I'll include it here. This is the harness that comes with him. Nicely sculpted, though it does not have a lot of paint, only the silver buttons there. And then, of course, the trench coat that he comes with is also an accessory. He's got a pair of red goggles with the little sort of stretchy band there. And these are the same goggles that came with Doc Nocturnal. He comes with like the C4 plastic explosive and then the little trigger thing to go with it. I forget which figure that came with. I guess maybe Stealth. But that's a cool piece, especially for like the photographers who want to do kind of like fun and different storytelling type photos. He's got 4 grenades, pretty simply painted, not a lot to them, but pretty cool little accessories right there. He comes with that same grappling hook that a lot of figures come with the string that you can unwind. And then he's got a backpack. This might be a new piece. I don't think I've seen this backpack ever. It's got like functional straps, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool option if you want to just go with like a black harness type look. And it does open up with Velcro. There's a little foam thing in there to keep its shape, but you could remove that and stuff it with a bunch of his accessories. Comes with a long-barreled pistol that I think that's come with a couple other figures before. And then it's got the removable magazine with the little painted bullet in there, which is such a nice little touch that they do. And then he's got 2 extra magazines right here. You will see that mine broke though, right where the sort of trigger guard thing, right in the middle of it, it just snapped when I was trying to put it in his hand. So that's a super delicate piece. Be very careful with that. I just got to glue that back on, but kind of unfortunate on such a rare figure. And he's got this machine gun type gun, which is really cool. I don't think I've seen this one before, unless it's on a figure that I don't have. But it does have a couple little places where it's shinier paint at the top of the barrel over here, and then on the handle. And then this piece actually moves. You can slide it all the way out, but that's kind of cool that you can change the angle of that a little bit, or at least the distance of it. So you have that, and then it does have a removable magazine, and it comes with 1 extra magazine, so that's pretty cool. This thing must have a ton of bullets in it. It's a wicked long magazine. And he's got the usual effect piece that can go on the end of the gun. Finally, for weapons, he's got this knife right here, and then that one's also got a little shiny black mixed in with some matte black. And then the only other thing he comes with is this net, so that's kind of neat. I actually took a photo of it, I kind of like folded it up and filled it up with like a bag of skulls. That's a pretty cool little piece. You can have him capturing people or maybe using it as some sort of camouflage or something. But so just a random net that's in there with it. And then finally for the articulation, it's all the same Gomez articulation. It's phenomenal. He can look way up, he can look way down. That head can go all around side to side and all that stuff. The shoulders have a tiny bit of butterfly, not really much, but they can swing all the way up and then back down. They twist, they can spin around, double jointed elbows. The wrists are on that ball hinge type wrist peg that they all use. Up in the torso, you can crunch forward and rock around on that ball joint on the upper torso, and then there's a ball joint at the waist as well. You can kick them forward this much, and then you can kick back. Double jointed knees come up this far. You can twist at the top of the thigh, and then you have the boot that can twist, and then the rest of the articulation in the boot isn't crazy. You have to kind of work it to get it into a rocker position, but you can a little bit, depending on how you angle his foot, you can rock it a little bit. And then you can point it down a tiny bit and up a little bit, but not a ton of motion in the ankle. So there's that bit of it. But overall, phenomenal articulation because it's a Gomez body, which is one of the best articulated bodies out there. So overall, this is a great figure. I like it quite a bit, but it's not something I would really recommend you go out and try to get. First of all, it's mostly reused parts, right? So it's mostly stuff you might already have. Unfortunately, if you missed out on Stealth Ops Gomez and then you really wanted this one, that's kind of stinks because it's only $500. But otherwise, it doesn't come with a ton. Right out of the gates, it was a little high priced. It was $112, and usually those $112 figures are usually a little more packed out with accessories. I mean, this doesn't even have the same number of hands as your standard Gomez kit. So this is a little bit minimal for what you're getting, and especially with these current aftermarket prices, this being only a 500 count figure, I don't really recommend you try to go out and get it, quite frankly. So overall, I do like the figure. I think it's a great figure, but it's also the type of figure where if I had missed, I wouldn't be too upset. You know, it's a lot of reuse. It's pretty much a variant. It's nothing mind-blowing or groundbreaking. If you have a Gomez figure, this is just a variant of those figures, especially if you have one with a skull, right? You know, missing out on getting this body again with this outfit on it, that's kind of a bummer, especially if you don't have the Stealth Ops Gomez, because that figure is really hard to get too. But I don't really recommend trying to go out and get this figure because it's so rare. The price on the aftermarket is going to be ridiculous. It's probably never going to drop below $300, and it might not ever drop below like $500, say, because there's just so few out there. But we'll see. I mean, if you are the type of person who needs a complete collection and you are willing to pay prices, I would say as of this video, over the next week or two, when people start putting their figures up on eBay and start undercutting each other. I think they're sitting around like $550 right now, and they start kind of undercutting each other, and it might drop a little bit. So I would be on the lookout over the next week or two, maybe the next couple weeks, once people get these in hand and start putting them up and trying to scoop that crazy price. But otherwise, unless you're like one of the high roller type, like I'm gonna have a complete collection, just don't even bother with this figure. It's great, but it's not core. It's not essential. There's so many other better Gomez's, and there's going to be so many other better Gomez's that are going to come out down the road. Anyway, thanks for watching my video, and until next time, may the force be with you.
Follow me into the